Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for September the 7th through the 13th, 2020. So before we begin, I'd just like to make you aware of the special offer for my angel readings. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you and hope that you find this video enriching for your lives. And afterwards, if that is, you feel called, then you would go to my website, theangelschool.com. And that link is below, and you'll find on that page my half-hour reading. So I'm offering my half-hour reading of $77 for a full hour. I've been doing this since the pandemic, and you can take advantage of that if that's what you feel would work best for you. Then it would be my pleasure to offer it to you. So you would just go to my page. There's no special link. You would choose that reading for $77 for the half hour. Within 24 hours on a business day, not the weekend, I will get back to you, and I will, with a confirmation email, which will note that the special offer and the full hour. Okay. Let's see. Also, I do daily card messages here from Monday through Friday. So I am posting them on my community post here on YouTube, as well as on my Facebook page, which you can find in the description link below. And also, I just posted the monthly angel scope. So these are zodiac readings. There are 12 of them, and they've just been posted over the this previous week. So the last ones were posted on Friday. So they should all be there. And so check that out if you want to look at your particular sign and just get an overview of the month for yourself. All right. So now let's take a deep breath. And let's allow yourself to really connect in with your higher wisdom. And it's so interesting because what they're showing me is this huge lamp with a lampshade. And when I see that, that gives me a sense of enlightenment, or someone is very intelligent, or very just connected in with their higher wisdom. And they channel this enlightenment and wisdom very easily. I'm also noticing that there is a figure of a female figure. So this could represent the divine feminine and that intuition. So you might find that in this week that you are just having a number of epiphanies and insights that occur. And these insights could really create sort of a breakthrough in some patterns for you, that things that you've been struggling with, or you just might have this clarity. So that just surge of clarity, it almost reminds me, since it's like light, right? It reminds me of any kind of light, like lightning, like the tower. And so that's what I get this sense, like it just might, the lights go on and you feel, really liberated within yourself about some things. I'm also seeing the word healthcare, and I'm seeing the word sensitive too. So there may be something in terms of your healthcare that you get possibly some good news, or that things weren't as bad as you thought. That and it may also be that you finally get around to taking care of your health, and maybe there's a change in diet, or something with exercise, or that you find the right medications or the right diagnosis that helps you to really start living your best life. Okay, so there's just something in this healthcare area that is sort of a breakthrough, and it comes as a sort of a beautiful relief in a way, because now you have the right information and you have the you can follow the right course of treatment for it. And the sensitivity might be also just, it could be emotional, that your vibes, your intuition in that way, and just being, I just saw the word visibility flash around. So, in this week, your insights might put you sort of on the radar of others, okay? But make sure that you take care of your health, and take care of your well-being first, and balance this sort of this visibility that might occur. Now, that visibility could be good in some other ways, in terms of opportunities, being able, people reaching out to you with some opportunities. So somehow you're just sort of more visible, and that just, it almost feels like this. It's like going back to this light thing again. It's like, if you're lit up, all the little flies, the little, I forget what they're called, start to, flock to this light. And so this could be a really magnetic week for you in terms of, attracting opportunities, sort of side gigs or additional work assignments coming up for you that will or clients and things like that will really give you that sense of security this week, in your finances, so you can really focus in on your health and really enjoy the process of these insights and breakthroughs that you get. Okay, so it might be sort of a hand-in-hand gift, so that they want to have you have this breakthrough, but they also bring in some support. And it could be financial, as I said, but it could be other forms of support, so that you can relax a little bit and just enjoy what you're discovering in your epiphanies. So let's see what else is kind of coming up for you. And this is right. They had a book open, and then they wrote the word help in front of it, and they're actually writing book. So it could be like some kind of self-help book. So maybe there is something that you come across that you read, and they wrote the word respect. So it in facts, bold. Okay. So, it may be something that epiphany comes through something you read, that just really strikes you in a bold way, and you get some clarity, like you get some real insights into your paradigm that allows you to break that old paradigm mold and really sort of this thing that they write. They said it's been perplexing you for a long time or a while, and this kind of support. So, if somebody suggests, "Oh, I've been reading this great book," that might be your sign, to take that cue to read that, and that might be one of the ways that you get that breakthrough. All right, so let's take a look at the Archangel message for this week. Kind of getting to it a little early, but it feels like they want us to just go ahead. And okay, so you're not going to get upset because the card got moved, right? OCD. I guess we all have a touch of it, don't we? So this card, you know how I feel about this card, right? You know what to do. So Archangel Uriel, we make peace with you about this card. This is Archangel Uriel, whose name means the light of God. So here we've been having this whole light imagery, and this sort of insight coming up. So Archangel Uriel, you can also call upon him to help light enlighten your mind, to help you to navigate and see through confusion, and even helps with studies. Like, if you're going to take a test or you're studying for something, you can call upon him to help you to have greater understanding of what you're studying, and help you to process that in a way to kind of move through those blocks. Sometimes if you're feeling a little mind fog, and these are things that we create in order to, sort of like a way of procrastinating. We can feel what it is. We know we need to change, but then we don't want to allow ourselves to know what that is, because that's the thing that we're afraid of doing. And it's because we're so attached to what we're doing and the way things are, even though we cry, misery about it, we are too personally involved in some of the drama in our lives. So this is an opportunity for you to make progress this week with some of this stuff. And you can call upon Archangel Uriel to just, light a path for you. And when he lights that path for you, move through it. Trust. And so he's saying here, you know what to do. You know you got to make that change. But why are we still, fussing over this within ourselves? Why not just go ahead and see what opportunities you would give to yourself if you took care of yourself first and your own needs, and you let that go. You let that situation go. You let that person go. You let whatever it is, the job, or the way you're doing the job, or the way you're approaching this, or the way you keep interacting with this group of people or this situation. Why don't you change that approach? And you may have that feeling that I need to do something about this. Do something about it. Don't be afraid to do something about it. And I know, because you have that beautiful, sensitive soul, and you're so worried about the effects on everyone else, and you're also worried about, the oh God, I can't think of words today. The backlash on yourself. But sometimes it's the illusion that our mind creates, this whole fantasy of how horrible it's going to be. Well, you know what? Go ahead and have that fantasy, because like I know, because we've all been through it, it's never like that. It's just never like that. And if so it is, and it plays out the way it does, like I know, that it's over sooner than later. And everybody moves on, and everybody knows where they stand. And actually, you feel much better, because why? Because you've been true to yourself. And you can't trade that up for anything else. You just can't. It can't get any better than that. So what were you afraid of? Is just being free, being who you are, honoring your heart, taking care of yourself, and helping them too. Because even though it looks like you've put them out a little bit, you've actually helped them too, because they were stuck in the same fantasy. And I know that's not the right word, because it's not pleasant. We think of fantasies are pleasant, but it's what it is. The ego just creates fantasies, illusions, and everybody's living in it, and everybody's stuck in it until somebody breaks us free by what? Offering the truth that's inside of them. Being true to themselves and not worrying about how much mess, because there's always going to be a mess. Even when you're trying to do good things, there's going to be a little bit of mess, right? Like when you're creating, you start cutting and you're drawing, and you have scraps, and but do you worry about that? No. But you got to clean it up afterwards. So see, the way the ego spins things, it makes things look like, because that's what the world of duality is. Some things look good, some things look bad. But in actuality, energetically, it's all the same. It's only different to us because we have the ability to project beauty or ugliness. We see these things. The universe does not. That's why we're kind of horrified about the cycle of life, especially in nature and with how animals, where they consume one another, and to us it looks like savagery, and we're horrified. But to them, they don't have this feeling like somebody, threatened me or harmed me. They understand this evolution, this cycle that they're within. They accept it, they embrace it. They don't take things personally like we do. That's the reason why we have this, the level of consciousness we have. It's like a double-edged sword. It comes, you get to have better ways of thinking and so forth. But then that means that you can have a variety and a full spectrum of the possibilities of thought. And so therefore we can feel negative or feel positive about something. Just like being nervous is really just adrenaline. But we interpret that adrenaline flow when you're about to do something, like I say, perform or get up and make a speech. Your adrenaline flows because information is downloading through your energy for what you're about to do, because within you is stored all the gifts and all of the knowledge. That's why Archangel Uriel knows that you know what to do. But our ego gets in there and splits the world, splinters the world into sides, the good and the bad, right? And says, okay, this is going to be horrible. And because you've had previous experiences where your first approach to, like, I'll never forget, as a child, I was about 2 years old, a toddler. I had bells on my shoes, and my grandmother, it was my very first performance, and my grandmother, and this is something that's always been with me, and it's affected my life. My grandmother and I were practicing this song, Jesus Loves Me. And her bedroom every day, I had no idea what that was about. And I do have clear memories, even as an infant. I don't know why, but I do. And all of a sudden, I don't remember anything in between the practice and that, but what the next thing I remember is standing in my church, where I grew up in. It's called the First Baptist Church, South Portsmouth. And I'm standing on the pulpit, they called it, where the ministers preach. And all of a sudden, my grandmother's standing down there saying, sing, sing, sing. And I was frozen. And I, in that moment, as a little child, interpreted that scenario as fear. I didn't interpret it as an opportunity to display what my grandmother and I had worked on together. She saw that I had this beautiful voice and this talent, and I didn't see that. I didn't even know what we were doing. We were just having fun as far as I was concerned. But I didn't carry that translation of fun on to that moment, and I didn't sing, and I disappointed her, and I knew it. And so after that, I sang because I never wanted to disappoint her. But then that became my thing every time I perform. So it's always this tension, nervousness, etc. So the thing is that it was just adrenaline. And one of my recent teachers just explained this to me one day. And so I can interpret this as excitement or nervousness, but it's just adrenaline. And I understood it because the angels told me this when I was doing my readings. I used to have the same kind of feeling because, of course, I've had a practice of performance anxiety. And one day I didn't get nervous until like 5 minutes before, and I was like, come on, what is this? Because I've been excited the whole time. And that's when I heard them say, it's just the download coming now for the session. and you're interpreting it that way. And once I heard that, I never had that again. It doesn't mean that I don't have these little thoughts in my head, but I can generally ignore them. So this is just to help you to understand how we work against ourselves, because we have this ability, complex ability to think. It comes with these other things that, can also cause us so much agony in our lives. But when we just deal with the truth and that perspective, then we can clear that up. And that little insight just took that whole thing away from me in terms of preparing for my readings. All right, so let's see how this week goes for you. And the message on the card says, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. So, when I said that, what it feels like to me is trust your inner knowledge. That means be open to what your inner knowledge, your inner oracle might offer as a new perspective on the matter. Don't go with that knowledge you've been dragging around with you from your life, the stuff, replaying those events that have already happened. Be present with what is erupting within you every split second of your life. There's new data unfolding because of what you've lived, and you can have access to this. This is the most clarity about you, and we often don't represent it or give it enough attention or emphasis. And so the help is there for you. We're just not in touch with it. We're not capturing the moment. We're not paying attention. We're recapturing previous moments, the ones that looked as if they didn't go well. But in truth, there's always something good that happens because you learn. But we don't capture that lesson. We capture the failures, for lack of a better word. Okay, so let's take a look at the message for the beginning of the week. Okay, and we have the Six of Swords, so that's very good because that Five of Swords is sort of like that feeling of being defeated, where someone is a winner and someone's a loser, right? And isn't that the thing that we just that we keep struggling with in our lives? We keep reviewing our lives. We keep focusing on how we've been defeated, how we've failed, how we've lost. And this card is indicating, just on the heel of our conversation, that you're going to be able to move on from that. Something's going to occur for you. Something's just going to, because the number 6 is about harmony, cooperation, and community. So that means that something is going to heal for you. Something's going to let up, and you're going to sort of find some inner peace or new path of inner peace that is going to unfold for you around this particular issue. All right, so maybe I need to move these up a little bit. So let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Okay, I've been noticing in our daily card messages as well here, but definitely daily card message, we've been having a lot of swords cards come up. So that's very, very interesting. And, this is telling us that we're doing some really deep work with this mental plane. And this means that our ego, this survival mode that keeps holding us back, that causes us to develop this pride that becomes our prison, that this imprisonment, we're about to break free from this imprisonment, that the keys are coming to you from all the lifetimes of your existences where you've and that those the level of mastery, the lessons that you've mastered, and they come together collectively for you now, as if they're being woven together into this beautiful tapestry, so you can really see the bigger picture and the bigger goals here. So that's one thing. And then, of course, we have the Eight of Swords here, which I think I remember talking about this card last week. So this has come up. And that feeling, this card is about that feeling of entrapment. But if we may potentially look at this so far, it seems like you're going to be really working through this, and that you, because the thing about this card is, and I like what she's doing here, as I probably mentioned last week, she's kneeling. And instead of just continuing to struggle and fight with this, she's kneeling. And it looks like she's created some kind of prayer offering where she's looking for the answers to help herself see through the false ideas and beliefs that she's conjured around herself. And she's ready to be free. So we could take a cue from this to resign ourselves to really asking for help from on an angelic level, or from anywhere that you need to help you to get through something. And I really feel like a lot of us, what we do is that our pride tells us, oh, we have to be able to do this on our own. We can't let other people know that we can't do things by ourselves. See, but who wrote that book? And nobody wrote that book. And it's interesting because it looks like I'm seeing the word passage, and I feel like ancestors. This is the energy I'm feeling. Like your ancestors they're climbing up this hill, and this is an ancestral line, lineage issue, and that this is an opportunity for you to heal that ancestral line. So before you take the weight of this problem solely on yourself, open it up and look at, the generations as far as you know back, and, think about, because some of our behaviors are just copied, and some of them are just sort of part of our genetics, but we don't have to continue them. We don't have to keep spinning that cycle. There's no rule that says that that's stuck there, that it can't be, that you can't, by giving your attention to it, by bringing that higher frequency of light and enlightenment, that you can't see it for what it is and break it. Okay? So call upon your ancestors as well, and your angels to help you, because they collectively understand the pressure of this, I see that word, of what has been placed on you. And they all are assembled because they know that it can be broken if just one has the epiphany. So, but they know what it is that needs to happen to help you to be liberated, is the word I'm seeing. So really go within, have that moment of prayer ritual that allows you to really connect in and receive that loving assistance. I don't know why I just saw the name Aphrodite, but I did. So maybe that goddess is also coming through to help you, the goddess of love. All right, so let's take a look at the card. Wow, so we have all swords so far. The Knight of Swords here. And this would indicate, it's interesting in this deck, how she kind of has these split, the person, so like, it's almost like they're shimmering, like in Star Trek or something. And so we know that the Knight of Swords has a quick mind, right? So he would be sort of shimmering if he had to stand still without being on the horse. You normally see him on the horse, and he's moving, he's charging, he's very quick-witted. He will just dive right in, and this person may not think or feel or pay attention to your feelings, all right? But they see this situation clearly, and so they don't get emotional. They go, their thought process is to handle it, okay? And so there, you may need a little bit of this, where you may need to put, so that you can really heal this on an emotional level, as well as get to the root of what the thought process is. You may really actually need to, sort of put those emotions to the side and really deal with the facts. How is this affecting me? And don't worry so much about like, oh, but if I change, then what about everybody else? No, this is affecting you. And so first of all, you need to get clear about how you can help yourself so you can release this, because you can do that. And sometimes it's just the knight is like, okay, he's not one to just sit around and go, okay, well, let's talk about this. Like, should we or should we not do this? Let's not make a list. It's like, no, I see the problem. Let's go for it. Identify it. Do something about it. And it may be that situation where you need to apply yourself in this way. Okay. And, that shimmering is like, if you do, you have the ability to just shake that off. And almost I get the sense of you could raise your vibration, because the Knight of Swords and the Suit of Swords, Court of Swords, are all about the truth. He is always about the pursuit of the truth. And he will go to whatever lengths to do it. He's, very decisive and just focused. So you can raise your vibration. You have an opportunity to raise your vibration, to raise the vibration of the thought forms that you're holding on to, and raise it for your entire ancestral line as well. So focusing on the truth, being clear, by being honest with yourself. Okay, don't hold back. Be honest. Be your authentic self. All of these things will help you to arrive at this moment of clarity where enough is enough, and you no longer need to perpetuate that thing. You don't need to let that thread be sewn any further into the fabric of your life moving forward. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the card that I pulled from the bottom of the deck, and it's the Six of Pentacles. So we have 2 sixes. And, this gives us a sense, again, of this, although this seems like it's going to be an interesting week, but it does give us a sense of alignment and resources balancing out, harmony in certain areas of your life, and what it might really affect, which would make a whole lot of sense, right? When you're really living your truth, when you're always focused on what that is, and that becomes your purpose and your intention, and you start aligning everything with that truth, with that integrity, that level of integrity, you open up the doors of opportunity for you. Because when our mind is like all over the place, well, there's no clear focus, there's no clear signal or intention for manifestation. And so you get a lot of things that you feel like you don't deserve. And when you live according to your truth, not everybody else's, and not everybody else's approval or their morality codes, but to your truth, when you do this, and when you are honestly in pursuit of your higher self's truth, and you live and you are constantly, despite all the emotions and attachments, that you just keep focusing on your purpose, that you open the floodgates of abundance to come into your life, and you start to see that things start to orchestrate with you. There's that natural tendency of exchange, of giving and receiving. So this is sort of like what a beautiful outcome that this work and not resisting it will set you on such a beautiful path. So I know, because I've been through, I can tell you, I started, I think when I mentioned to you some weeks ago, previous month, probably the end of July, about setting an intention for the month, for the week and the day. I went ahead and did that because I told you I learned from these things, and I've been using my different tarot decks, and what it's helped me with is that the first thing was I worked on self-care in a particular area of my life, and I just started looking at it and coming up with the questions that would help me to look at that within myself each day. How am I living? And in the sense that how am I living, and what are my actions, or what lessons am I learning each day around this within myself, things like this. And it really helped me so much that in that particular area of my life, I saw new results after a month. So I can tell you from that experience that if you stick with it, it really does help you. Okay? So think about this for yourself, okay? And some way that works for you. But if you just have that goal and you understand how you're going to work towards it each day and for each week, and set what you're going to work on for that month, it will keep you focused and on your priorities. And as you go through your day, that area, as if it's finances or it's romance, the things that you've been doing, the things that happen won't just happen like without your knowledge, because somehow we think that it's like, oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I didn't know that. We do, but we're just not being honest. And I don't mean like you're lying. Of course, that's kind of like what I'm saying, right? But it's not like you're doing it on purpose. It's just you get used to living a pattern in a certain way, and you forget. You can't even see the pattern anymore. It's like on automatic pilot. And by taking some kind of approach like I did, you can't be on automatic pilot anymore. Every day for 10, 30 minutes, you give it your attention. And I did this at the start of every day so that as I went through the day, I could monitor, because it was in my awareness. The time that it took me to journal and do that, you just can't forget it. So now I wasn't as blind as I went through my day. And I hope that kind of helps you to understand how you can just simply help yourself by just setting a goal, an intention, and then you won't be as blind. But you have to do work with it. You just can't say, oh, this is my intention. No, you have to like journal or have a process where you have a question, and I use the same question every day, and that helped me to keep focusing on it. And with the cards, it just brought up different things, some things that I didn't even see, and it just helped me to unravel that. All right, so I'm going to let us sort of think about this over the week, or today when you look at it, watch this video, and see what you can do to help yourself. Follow your instincts. Think about the things that you've already been guided to change in your life, and maybe take that as an area in your life where you need to really focus, concentrate, and work there, and just give yourself space, sacred space every day to heal that. All right. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and I thank you for joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless you.